I would not give you false hope on this strange and mournful day at the mother and child reunion is only a motion away. Good evening. July 2nd, 2024. The second day was T-minus 1 day. That Coke back on it. Quit for a little while, but I'm back. So 1 day into the New World Order, for the United States at least, wherein the Supreme Court of the United States has ruled that the president, both sitting presidents and former presidents, have absolute immunity for anything deemed official. Anything they do during the course of their official duties, anything they say, anything. I downloaded the ruling. It's 119 pages. I read about 4 pages of it and then was just like, you know what? Other people have already summarized this thing. I don't think I'm going to be the one that finds a nugget to sort of invalidate the whole thing. So I'm just going to read the synopsis, the Chief Justice's opinion, and of course the dissenting opinion, which in this case was written by Sotomayor. And I don't want to talk about this too much, I think. I just want to acknowledge that things are different. Things are going to be different around here, around these parts. It's difficult to imagine you have to be a certain kind of personality to seek political office in the first place. Some people have said that, psychopathy is one of the things that leads people to run for office. Narcissism. Lots of mental illnesses. And now we're basically, deciding that accountability is something that we don't value very much anymore. Did we really value it before? I don't know. I don't know. We pretended to. And in pretending to do something, you have to at least do it a little bit, or the truth of it being a sham will come out. So I know, there's, the notion that I'd rather know my enemy, right? And rather than have someone who's sort of pretending to be nice, but wears a mask and has another face. At least that's sort of like the face of liberalism, right? There's definitely something to be said. I'm more and more cynical about the left as time goes on, and as I see, more and more just repeating the same patterns over and over again, wherein they make a fuss. So I would essentially, they're raising their finger. Point of order. I would like to have it noted that I don't like this. I don't think this is a good idea. Please put my name down in the ledger that I raised this as a point of order. And that's it. And that is, you can go back to Howard Zinn or any revolutionary, right? You cannot be neutral on a moving train. And this train is moving. It's moving. And let's be honest, right? Biden was so embarrassing in the debate last Thursday that he made Trump look like he was 20 years younger than he was. The guy's only 3 years younger than Biden, but he looked 20 years younger, and he was acting 20 years younger, and he was acting like even much younger when you look at like the substance of what was being said, right? The idea that Trump touts winning 2 club championships at the country club he owns. It's like your mom giving you an award. But the fact that that was like brought up and that Biden took the bait, like what the hell was that? Like, I don't know, man. Neither of those people are fit to run the country. Like that's sorry, I went down a little too far there. But one of them will actively seek to exploit this new set of immunity rules. He was already gonna not give a fuck, right? He was already like, was his last term, if that's still a thing. But now, if he gets into office with the no changes between now and then on the Supreme Court ruling, imagine, like, he's unfettered. His wildest dreams. The dude has not been able to have an orgasm in a long time. I'm sure he had a couple just thinking about all the revenge he could exact and the sort of half-joking remarks he made 7 years ago that he could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and it wouldn't matter a whit to his base. Now it doesn't even matter if his base cares or not. It's strange when we think about also, the right has not won a popular vote for president. Was it since the first George Bush? I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been a long time, long enough that you have to think back and wonder. Let me take a break and say hi to people. Getting myself worked up. We have a thumbs down, ladies and gentlemen. Thumbs down. I can go to sleep now. Got the thumbs down. Mia, oh my God, he's back. Amy, hello. Hi, Deadly Nightshade. Michael Winchester. Yeah, you know what? Like, I also think this was something nice to fall back on. I've been pressing myself with practicing. I've been practicing the Barrios' Cathedral for so long and so much that I think I may have caused a little bit of nerve damage, and I'm worried I need to pull back a little bit. I wake up now with my hand in pain, and after playing for a while, my hand is in pain, which is a shame because really I saw like this, learning this piece as a prelude to learning Bach's. I do not think it's pronounced back. I don't know why I said that. However, I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce the piece. Bach's Chaconne, which is a violin piece, or written for violin, and guitar cannot touch it. It's, if you have never heard Bach's Chaconne on violin, it is take you through all the, it'll take you on a ride there and back again. But I wanted to move on to that. And if I'm having this much trouble with Barrios. I don't know that Bach piece is something that is within the range of my capabilities. Anyway, lovely voice. Now I can try and make it lovely in my faux deep way. Yo, what's good? Thank you for existing. Sayadiakite. Suspicious. I'm immediately suspicious of trying to pronounce that name. Oh, hey, Lisa. It has been a while. How are you doing? Look at that. Look at that doggy. And Amy, it's been a while. You feel like democracy died. That was pretty much what Sotomayor said. Late stage, whatever. When I get caught in the infinite scroll just like everybody does. I saw Jimmy Carr, right? Is that really annoying British comedian that somehow people think is funny? I don't get him at all. But doing that bit where he's basically like saying we should all be so grateful because we live in the greatest time ever because you can take a hot shower and 100 billion people that have lived on this planet, only in the last 50 years have any of them been able to take a hot shower. So whenever I take a hot shower, I take a moment to have gratitude for the fact that I'm taking a hot shower. We've never lived in times as good as this. There's antibiotics, there's medical advances, we live like kings. He's totally missing, like when he says we, it's very telling, like when he's speaking there. He's completely missing, and people who say this generally are, yes, if you are fortunate enough to be born in certain countries or be, of a certain race or basically it's a roll of the dice. We have the excluded middle. We have taken the theory of the excluded middle all the way to its logical conclusion, and we just have people who are in abject poverty and people who live like kings, right? But even the people living like kings are still facing the same existential crises that people in abject poverty are. Not to compare those two things. But anyway, to me, that just exposes a sort of puddle-deep intellect. You haven't really thought that through. Or if you have, you've thought it through a very narrow lens, and you know who your audience is, because you're automatically weeding out the people who do not have devices, right? Anyway, I don't know what happened there. Echomancer, I love your PFP. I'm sure I've said that before. So I agree that Joe Biden needs to be replaced. Is it feasible at this point? Probably not. Is Trump going to win? Probably. Like, I feel like we need to do everything that we can to prevent that from happening and not give up hope. But we also need to make ourselves aware of the likely truth, which is, January of next year, Trump will be taking office again, and nobody will be safe. There'll be drone strikes on Fifth Avenue. Of course, Biden is still president, right? So he could stack the court. He has the same immunity that Trump would have. What could he do? He could do a lot of things that I could mention here that would get my YouTube channel shut down. Not that it really matters, but he could basically do anything he wanted. This could be a non-issue, right? But he's a Democrat. It's not even that he's old or infirm, because he has people around him who are not old and or infirm. It's that he's a Democrat, and it's an analog to the way the United States plays ball. The United States and other developed countries play ball when it comes to war. It's like, oh man, you got to play by the rules, and by the way, the rules favor us in every way possible. And if you don't play by the rules, we're going to condemn you, right? Like if you turn a plane into a missile by hijacking it, that's against the rules. Like all of a sudden, we're not as untouchable as we thought we were. In the words of Propagandhi, we were delivered matching funeral urns to the bully who never learns. That's the United States is the bully there. But so the way the United States behaves on a global scale is not the way that Democrats behave in office, right? They are very, no, we're going to play by the rules, and they're not going to play by the rules, and so we're just going to get decimated. Ross Chapman. Hey, sailor. Loved your part in the recent Moonlight Cottage video. Was a spot of light amidst all the BS the SCOTUS is pulling. Thank you. I had fun. I've had so much trouble. It's been so hard to make stuff. Just been some kind of a brain block. The neurotransmitters are not neurotransmitting the way they're supposed to be. And I'm not getting the reward center of my brain is not operating properly. So it's difficult to do anything that requires any sort of effort at all. Even playing a game, which is sad. So, I expend my effort working in my day job, which I've there are problems with my job that I won't go into. But I have found that I enjoy scooting into work on my scooter and then scooting home from work and getting everybody staring at me like I'm the kind of prick who rides a scooter. Not worrying about parking. Got nice big bike lanes that people turn into double parking lanes, but still, I've enjoyed that quite a bit. And I lie to myself that it is some minor form of exercise. But that's it. I expend what little effort, what little energy I still have at work, and when I'm home, the thought of the work that it takes to plan something and shoot it, and then it's also a lot of work to get over the self-hatred and the hypercritical eye, and actually do some sort of mental gymnastics to convince myself that it's good enough. Right? And I'm not saying it's not good enough. It's fine. It's largely ASMR. I'm not pretending like the standards are higher than they should be. Although Moonlight Cottage, Moonlight Cottage is somebody who I watch and because there are these very high standard ASMR people that I'm sure a lot of y'all are familiar with. But Moonlight Cottage is the one who really hits the natural lighting sweet spot that I feel like even other really high tier ASMR artists can't do that. They're all very stylized, which is also very cool. But when it comes to somebody hitting that sort of actual cinema look, I gotta ping her because I want to ask her some questions. I get the feeling a lot of it comes from, this is just me guessing based on my own experience, right? She must have a good amount of space, or she works with a lot of muslin, a lot of like really large lights with a lot of surface area, because she doesn't like what I have here. Like she would never light, maybe she does, but I don't think she would ever light a scene like this. Like this is way too stylized, right? It's like super harsh here, super harsh other color here. It's clear that the lighting on my face right now is being made by relatively small lights to my sides. Her lighting is, I imagine, much more distant and a much larger, softer source in general. And she's also one of the few people who I feel like has been able to integrate exterior scenes in a way that is commensurate with the interior scenes. Because people do the exterior and the interior stuff. I've done the exterior and the interior stuff. But generally, like with myself and even with others, when I look at it and it's sort of like there's a difference there. Like you can tell we, if I can speak of us as a collective, we have put a lot of work into having studios or areas where we can work, where we have set them up with great care, and then we go outside and immediately we lose all of that, and it then becomes clear that we're working with a little portable light running off a V-mount battery that just doesn't quite have the same kick. But all that to say, Ross, bring that back up. Yeah, I shot that in my basement, up against a basement wall, almost no effort at all. She had some notes that I fixed just with audio. It was very, very low effort, which is the reason I was able to do it. Yeah, so that was wonderful. All right, Choco Milk. Hi, Choco Milk. What is this? I mean, I don't think felons should get the right to vote taken away. I don't believe that should happen. I believe most convicted felons are their story is usually a lot more complicated. Now, in Trump's case, I'm not siding with Trump there, but generally speaking, I'm way behind. I'm sorry. Hey, Ryan B. Wow, all these good PFPs. I'm okay, Ryan. That's the best I can say. How are you doing? You've been saying it. Everybody's been saying it. I think, he had his State of the Union speech was surprisingly lucid and coherent. The bar was not high. Like, he did not need to do much on Thursday. He just needed to, people had very low expectations of him, and he did not meet the already very low expectations. It was tragic. Agreed, Ryan. Like, the two-party system there's a million problems with what's going on here. Hey, Kit. It's been a while. I like the thumbs down. Oh, Ms. Good to see you, Ms. You still have the same PFP, which, gotta update that every once in a while. Yeah, I've seen this, Michael, that I've heard this statement made that this is conservatives flipped their shit at having an African American president. But Obama was no saint. More drone strikes under Obama than I think under Bush. Oh, I'm glad this question came up. Keep doing what you're doing. We very much respect what you all still talk with ER. Any future plans on making another collab? Yeah, we chat, most days. Maybe there'd be a day or two that goes by where we don't talk, but most days we're on the phone to the wee hours of the morning, often talking about ideas and planning what our next move is. And, he really wants to do something. He has a really high standard for what the work he wants to do. And, I have a fairly high standard too. So we want to be sure it's the right thing. So yeah, we're working together on something. It'll come. Give it a couple decades. Kit, you realized the other day the candidates you voted for have never actually won. Keep voting. Miss. Well, what's strange is I've heard. I'm not British, right? So he's more of a British curse. But I do see him clipped out of context on that terrible podcast. What is it? Diary of a CEO or whatever. Another one of those podcasts that pretends to be fair and balanced, but isn't. But yeah, and he's not funny. Like, he unironically was talking about his own humor. I think maybe I missed the joke about it being really, really out there, and it's just pablum. I don't know what him stepping down has to do with him being honest. And I'm not sure. Like, I don't really know what the path is to victory without him. And I've been keeping up with the same stuff that you all probably are, right? It would not be an easy. Well, this is true. He doesn't know his left from his right. As a result, he often ends up right in the middle. I don't think it's an easy process at this late stage in the game to proffer somebody who would it be? Throw a name out. Right? Like the fence sitters will never vote Kamala. And she has problems with her prosecutorial record. So who are we talking about? Like, who even has Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar? Who would we throw in there? I agree with this, James. The left is impotent and has been for some time, and becoming more impotent. And yes, they can effectively mobilize if it means their bottom line's going to get immediately damaged. Oh man, Ryan, this is the thing, right? This is, why didn't you show up? I worry about my kids, A Force Ghost, Amy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're trying to get at here, Michael. Perhaps we diverge more than I thought at first. Biden has managed to make all U.S. citizens become like Anne Frank to Hitler when it comes to illegal immigrants in our own country. I'm not following you. I know, Echomancer. I don't wear a helmet when I scoot. To be fair, I don't go over like 12 miles an hour. But I know I could just get sideswiped, or I'm in the door zone usually when I'm in these bike lanes, right? Because people double park. So I'm in the door zone, and someone could open a door, and that's it, you know? But it just feels so free and lovely to be out there without a helmet. So stupid. Ridiculous. And I even saw horrible motorcycle crashes the other day. Terrible example I'm setting for my kid. Terrible. I'm going to get a helmet. Yeah, I'm getting a helmet. Jork34. Hello. I don't believe I've ever seen you before. So nice to see you. Lisa888. As often as I watch your Broadchurch video, your views should stay up there. I love that video. This may surprise y'all. Let's do this. I am an open book. Let's see what my current views are. They're low, I can tell you that. My average monthly views right now are the lowest they've ever been. Okay, channel analytics. Looking good. My channel's views were slightly higher than usual in the last 28 days. Total views so far this month, 30K. That's nothing. And look at this. This is a little depressing to me, right? But it is the way that it is. So let's look at my top 6 videos. Any guesses what my top 6 videos would be in this time period? Yeah, this is sort of the fear. Ah, damn it, Miz. I loved the bald head. And I hope you all are doing well. Better than I am. Well, so Gavin Newsom, all of the people here are really problematic, with the possible exception of Pete Buttigieg. But here, wait, let's throw up my top viewed videos for this month. Let me make this a little smaller. Look at this. Joker. A video I made on a lark that was not even supposed to be the final video. This is actually different. This is not what I usually see every month. Usually it is Joker, Binaural Barber, Binaural Doctor, Walking Dead. So I'm guessing there's some renewed interest in Walking Dead based on... Oh, wait a minute. It's the second, right? It's only the second. So this is a really bad a really bad gauge of... although I think this is taken from the last 28 days. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's getting the actual ranking, but I think it's coming from views over the last 28 days. Also, like the Life is Strange stuff, I think that's gotten some renewed interest because of the potential new Life is Strange game. Why is that Voight Kampf test video there? No idea. That video was shot in a studio apartment in Miami in a period when I lived in Miami for like a really brief period. It's not... I lived in Miami twice. It's not like the Walking Dead video was also shot in an apartment in Miami, but it was a different apartment, and it was a different time than I was living in Miami. The Voight Kampf video, I had a bed that folded up, and it was just one room. The apartment was one room, bathroom, one room. And when I shot videos, I had to fold my bed up and then set up whatever I was going to set up, and then, put the stuff back when I was done. My time in Miami from like a living perspective point of view was pretty grim. Binaural Barber was also shot in an apartment in Miami, but the same apartment that the Negan one was shot in. But I'm surprised that Voight Kampf test is there. Really am. But that's pretty much... It's almost always just Joker, Binaural Barber video, Binaural Doctor video, Negan. Sometimes the Logan one... Honestly, I'm surprised the Logan one is not in here because of the Deadpool Wolverine movie. But anyway, yeah, that's how that goes. Those numbers are... Oh yeah, Ms. We'll definitely do so. I mean, I know y'all are having huge problems too with Sunak, and I watch John Oliver, so he keeps me up to date on the UK elections. And y'all have had like just such a horrible streak of prime ministers. It's been, it's been as bad as us, really. Yeah, same. I'm 51 and terrified. What do I fear will happen if Trump becomes president again? So the primary, in my opinion, right, the primary problem, or the single largest enduring problem that came from Trump's first 4 years, it's all the judges he appointed at the local level, as well as the 2 judges he appointed to the Supreme Court. That's why Roe v. Wade was overturned. That's why presidents were just given near absolute immunity. It's hard for me to imagine. He will have a busy 4 years. He will use a lot, again, speculative. He will use a lot of his time on personal vengeance, on making sure that he and his friends are not looked at all from any sort of legal, any punitive perspective. He'll want to cement his legacy in some way that, to me, like, he talks a lot about how, and he did in the debate too, how there were no wars when he was president, right? Which, a stopped clock is right twice a day. But I feel like he's going to want to do something pretty fucking momentous. Like he's gonna want something historic to happen during those 4 years, apart from him just targeting his enemies and essentially assassinating. I mean, assassinating. Who knows who he could assassinate? Is he gonna assassinate Jack Smith? Is he gonna assassinate Nancy Pelosi? Is he gonna assassinate anybody who? Well, I guess it's not assassination if it's condoned, if it's legal, if it's an official act. The point is, like, he has no compunction. Like, there's no, and like I said earlier, like, even if you are just pretending to have compunction, you have to behave. You have to put a governor on your behavior, even if it's not coming from a place of real empathy or actually being human. It's starting already, getting the fireworks already. So even if it's not real, you still have to govern yourself accordingly and behave in a way that won't out you as a liar. He doesn't have any of that. And he never did. I mean, even before this ruling, like, it was already terrifying. The idea of what he might do was terrifying. What is this? I'm not sure what this is referring to. Well, honestly, like, so much has happened. I'm not 100% clear on what's being referred to here. Well, Finesse 1, whatever your name is, I believe that you should care about the source from which you consume, and that in some small way, consuming entertainment or anything from a person is to some degree a tacit endorsement of at least their behavior being acceptable, even if you're not like thrilled about it. I mean, one of my favorite movies was Manhattan, which is a Woody Allen movie that is about Woody Allen dating a 15-year-old girl, or maybe she's 16, Meryl Hemingway. That used to be one of my favorite movies, like from the time I was 18 years old, or younger than that even. I just thought it was so beautiful and so well done and moving. And I didn't 100% know like all of it. Like that was before the Woody versus Mia thing came out. But I did know that he married his girlfriend's adopted daughter and likely had a relationship with her before she was 18. And when I was younger, like that didn't really matter to me. It matters to me now, and it has mattered to me for some time. And I feel like, maybe there are levels of what you deem acceptable versus like, okay, look, I don't like this person. I don't like what they're doing. I still like what they do. But there's a line, and we all have to figure out where that line is for each of us, and behave accordingly. And, some people are very, very stringent about that stuff. Like for me, like now with Woody Allen, it's not even a choice. I can't watch it. It makes me feel ill to think about Satchel or Dylan. Like it makes me feel ill now when I see that. And maybe that has something to do with having kids. I don't know. I don't know what caused the change. I just know the change happened. But I don't think Amy's just a hater. Fairness. Hi. Well, you got to watch it more because it did not make it into the top 6 in the past month. And I sure as hell ain't putting out any other bangers. Oh, I love this. Well, see, yeah, this is the weird thing is he was definitely like the person I looked up to the most and the person whose content I connected with the most out of everybody. And I really also like him as a person. Megan would be good too, though. Lapse of apathy. Do I like anime? I do, but it is on a cursory level. It's not, if you... Oh, we have 2 downvotes. Go ahead, give it a downvote. Like, I like to feel like I'm stirring the pot. That was probably Villainous. Do I like anime? Yes, but, my knowledge of and depth of interest in is cursory at best. Started with Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Ranma 1/2, all the Miyazaki, all the Ghibli, a couple of weird ones. There's one that I loved. That I loved everything about it except for there is this sort of like over-sexualization of... There's just an over-sexualization of like everything in a lot of anime, or hypersexualization, I think would be the better term. But it was like a school where the students solved mysteries, and it was the rarest of those type of things that reminded me of a show I used to watch when I was a kid. That was called like Who Done It or something like that. And they would present a mystery wherein, kind of like Encyclopedia Brown, or Agatha Christie to an extent. But I'm talking about like short form mysteries wherein the actual clues are given to you in the text or in the whatever the medium is, where if you're paying attention, you can definitively solve the murder, and you can say, yes, here are the clues that led towards this conclusion. Love that stuff, and this show did that. And I was shocked that they did it. I was encouraged to watch it, and I resisted for so long because some of the people in this group here, managed to convince me to play Doki Doki Literature Club or whatever the hell that thing was called. And let me tell you something. That thing was crap. Maybe because it was not my introduction to meta gameplay. And if it had been my introduction to meta gameplay, maybe I would have liked it more. But I forget the name of it. Oh, no, I don't. I think it's called Kakaguri. Did I just out myself with like some weird... Is this it? Yeah, Kakaguri. Gambler? No, wait, this doesn't... I want to say this is right, but I don't remember this being like this. Yeah, and it actually calls out the hypersexualization as a problem. And I agree, it was a problem. So yeah, my anime investment is pretty pretty surface level. Russ. So that's a relatively recent video. That's only like a year or two old at most. And most of the actual... here's one of the items right now. I won't take it out, but a bunch of the items are here. I used, I think, these bookshelves, and I really liked how that came out. It was fairly experimental. I wasn't sure how it was going to work or if it was going to work, and I liked the way that came out. So I'm glad you like it. Oh, you like the binaural barber mic? Cool. That's good. The binaural barber one, like I go back and listen to it now, I'm like, oh my God, the sound quality is so terrible. It's just so fucking bad. I don't know like how I let this go out the way I did. Oh, that's clever. Clever, Michael. Yeah. I've resisted doing a Doctor Who video for this long. I might continue doing that. Oh, you're right. Did I say I said 2, didn't I? Yeah. I said 2. And it was 3. And one of those was the sort of Merrick Garland debacle. And again, Obama should have pushed that through. Let me get down to the bottom here. Oh, Amy, your cat died. I'm sorry. Oh, is this what happened? Okay, now I'm remembering it. Yeah, he's a troll. He's a troll. Man, I've talked about this a bunch of times. And part of the problem is that I don't know. I don't know what because he just stopped talking to me. Deleted all the videos that we'd done and stopped responding to me. I even, like, comparatively recently reached out to him and was just like, dude, like, what happened? Because I don't know what it was. I have guesses, but I just don't know for sure. So no, I can't really go into it. I know it's like, drama, which would be great, but I have nothing to offer. Oh yeah, of course, Ryan. Plenty of positive things. Kendrick Lamar's last couple of tracks I dropped. It's good. It's a great point. Like, in what way have we been, in any respect, the moral, ethical world leaders that we claim to be? The leading by example people. We ain't. That ain't us. No. Hey, Anna, I'm not sure if this is the Anna I know or not, but fireflies are out here too. It's not gonna last long. I thought we were gonna get completely assaulted by cicadas this year. Like, I thought we were getting the overlap of the 14-year and the 17-year, and the second year of the pandemic, we had just this, I mean, the noise was unbearable for a solid month. And then I just had cicada shells coating my backyard. I got like a couple boxes of them, and I was going to do like ASMR with them, which would be really gross, but, might have been funny. But then I waited too long, and then they got grosser than even I could stand. Oh, sweet. Dead in the Nightshade. Well, it was fun. It was fun doing it. Ooh, Michael. Are they really? I'm surprised about that because Joe Hill, was it Joe Hill? Hasn't written a follow-up. But yeah, I'm looking for an excuse. I got it. Got it right back here. Looking for an excuse to bring this mask back out. It smells really weird. This is a weird smelling mask. I'm not sure exactly what it's made of. I'm sure something that is not good for my health. But yeah, I would love to do another Black Phone video. I know I've talked about not wanting to do kidnap videos anymore, but I think I'm going to relax my personal ethical code there and just say, screw it. Like, it's just a bit of fun. Ms. Delicious in Dungeon. I'll at least look at the trailer. That's all I can guarantee. The new edition. Oh, the new edition. Yes. We're facing the struggles that come along with that. Like, it's not all fun. It's definitely not all fun. I can tell you, I have had 2 boys at this point. One of them is, been on this earth about a decade. So it's been a while since he was a baby, but my recollection is that my new son, second son, is so easy and just like sleeps on his own and, doesn't cry a lot. He makes a lot of noise, but it's not crying, which to me is, specifically sort of the triggering noise that makes me kind of grit my teeth. So he likes to exercise his voice. He's at that age where he's sort of experimenting with what he can do, and he's doing it. He can say mama and dada at this point. And, he's a little delayed with the crawling, and honestly, I'm okay with that, because once he becomes an adept crawler, you get a lot more effort involved from a parenting perspective. Emmanuel Chavez, yes. Okay, Emmanuel Chavez, I think I'm going to have to ban you if you keep doing that. Oh, yeah. That was one that I was worried about, because I was like, well, once I sew your ears shut, I'm going to have to filter the sound, and is that going to be good? Like, are people going to be able to do that, to work with that as an ASMR video? But it seemed to do okay. It was fun to do. Gosh, Ross, I did an Alan Wake video. Wait, no, I did a Control video. Yeah, I've thought about this a bunch. I mean, I did an Alan Wake playthrough. Yeah, I have. And again, what it really comes down to is like the effort involved. Like I'd wanna try and do it right, or at least as right as I can do it. And that wouldn't be easy. Yar does a lot of nature and camping videos now. Yeah. He's always loved that. Oh my gosh, Lexi. I have not seen you in a while. I saw a recent video of your hubby on Instagram. Rocking out. It was great. It would have to be like so yeah. Spoiler, right? But a prequel, or maybe one of the kids grows up and decides to be his own grabber. Huh. Well, that's, if you are wearing glasses and you're holding him, he is going to grab the glasses and laugh at you if you say no. Like he will giggle at the fact that he knows he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing. You can't quite get him on his face himself, but he actually likes having glasses on, it seems. Maybe he has bad eyesight. Intergalactical, what is the most unsettling, scary movie I've ever seen? Let me think for a minute here. And let me change my settings. So this will stay up while I'm thinking. Comments. Where's comments? Do not automatically hide comments. Bam. All right. Intergalactico. You're up until I finish. It's hard to think of one. Like, one of the things I hate most about like YouTube reviews is when the reviewer is comparing things and the final thoughts are always, so which of these is good for you? Well, it depends what you want, right? Like, have a fucking point of view, state your opinion, and, quit straddling the fence, sir, ma'am. There's a few, and I have to consider the context in which I saw the movies as well. So when I first saw Nightmare on Elm Street, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, I was just a little kid. Saw it, I think I saw it in a movie theater. That can't be right. Maybe I saw it on a VHS tape. But that stayed with me. That's one of the movies that really got me into horror. And it was sort of like a love-hate relationship with horror because I didn't deal with them well. I would have nightmares. They would stay with me. So my mom was always kind of like trying to get me to not watch horror, but I still wanted to watch it even though it was having this deleterious effect on me. So, and the original Hills Have Eyes. So shortly after Nightmare on Elm Street came a few other movies like that. The original Hills Have Eyes was pretty unsettling. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was pretty unsettling. Pretty much any of those, though, if I saw those in the context of today, different things scare me now than scared me then. Right? I'm less afraid of the thing under the bed or the crazy demon in the dream, and more scared of like the horrors of spiraling into depression and drug addiction. So, in that regard, like Requiem for a Dream was horribly unsettling and frightening. Mental illness is terrifying. So Hereditary was really unsettling in that capacity. I saw the Blair Witch Project in a theater when it came out, when people actually didn't know if it was real or not. That's true. That's like a true thing, right? I remember going to the theater and people were like, "This is a found footage movie," and it really happened. What we're seeing actually really happened. I saw it in Weston, which is an area between near Fort Lauderdale, a little north of Miami, but way out west in the Everglades, pretty much. So I remember after that, like even just like walking back to my car and just trees and swamp all around, and I was terrified. And I would have been like 20 then, right? No, I would have been older than 20. I would have been like 25. So that was really, really unsettling when I saw it. Again, like I watch it now, nothing. But the ending, I remember the ending freaked the heck out of me. However, like Requiem for a Dream now, I still cannot watch it. Or it's not I can't watch it, it's like I choose not to watch it. It hits too close to home in a lot of different ways where I don't want to see that. So I'm probably going to say, based on who I am and where I am and what frightens me now today, Requiem for a Dream. I don't get like Skinamarink, like the kind of we're all going to the World's Fair, those type of horror movies don't really do a lot for me as far as scaring me. I enjoy them though. So yeah, I'm going to go with Requiem. Which, by the way, when I first saw it, it was a first date movie. It didn't work out. It's a first date movie. I didn't know anything about it. We gotta keep the culture and the times in mind here, right? Like a lot of times you would go to a movie, you wouldn't know what you were. I remember I went to see I want to say Braveheart, and it was sold out, and so I was there on a date, and had to see something. So I guess we didn't have to, but wanted to see something, so we went and saw Can't Hardly Wait. I ended up loving that movie, but I never would have watched that movie if we didn't just kind of have to see it because our preferred movie was sold out. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Michael, voice acting. Everybody's a voice actor. Yeah. I mean, I've done a little bit of voice acting in the past, and I've done a little bit recently, just for indie films and stuff, and I like doing it. It's fun, but no, it seems to me like a saturated market, and there are people with much broader skills than I who let them do that. Eric, have I played Life is Strange 2? Yes, I did play Life is Strange 2. Didn't like it as much as the first one, but I also went back and played the first one a little bit, and I didn't like the first one as much as I thought I liked the first one. That game had something to do with the time that I played it. Viquil, what's up? What's up with you? Oh no, Jeff got another guitar. So did I. Well, I mean, not that recently, but a little while ago. What sort of guitar did he get? I'm gonna guess he got like a 7-string metal guitar. Maybe I don't know who makes 7 strings. I don't know who makes 7 strings. Gibson. I just know the old school guitar makers really. Gibson, Fender, Ibanez, Jackson, for electrics anyway. Lexi, you're moving classrooms over the summer. Oh shit. Jeff got a job as an assistant principal. That's awesome. That is awesome. I often feel the pull to try and get into academia. The problem is that, I feel like the motivation is, at least in part, like, I want to go back to that time in my life for me, and that's not a good, reason to do any job. Right? Well, you're full of questions, Michael. Have I watched Stranger Things? Thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine? Am I excited about Deadpool and Wolverine? I watched the first 2 series of Stranger Things and then just totally lost interest. Didn't even regain. I mean, I remember watching the first season being like, oh my God, that this is being very widely watched show that talks about Demogorgon from the Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual, right? Which is, I remember this creature with 2 monkey heads. I can see the drawing in my head, like as clear as day, and I was very excited about that. And it had the nostalgia factor going for it, but it just didn't hook me. And then the second season, even less so, and then I just sort of fell off after that. My thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine are I'm tired. I'm tired of Deadpool's shtick, to be perfectly honest. I'm sure I'll see it. I don't really know. I don't have high expectations for that movie. So no, I'm not excited about it, but I will see it, and we'll see. Maybe it'll be great. Okay, so you're gonna say this, but you're not gonna say what film it is, Michael. So Hereditary to me is really, really unsettling and scary because it deals with mental health and the genetic factors of mental health and how we're powerless in the face of such forces. Oh shit, Lexi, that's right. So crazy. So crazy. Like such a clear church state violation. I don't get it. But man, there's got to be some clever ways to get around that. I would imagine there might be a market for selling posters of the 10 Commandments that are worded just slightly differently. That's just in... Wait, what? So you're in... I thought that was just in Alabama. Maybe I just think Alabama because Alabama. But you're Missouri, right? Yeah. I mean, it'll do that, right? Like, a lot of the horror movies I saw that stick with me in my head are because I really saw them when I was too young to see them. And yet, like, that went to sort of form my character and who I am. Yeah, I'd be willing to take the bet that I would not be afraid of chiming clocks. Although I fucking hate chiming clocks just because I hate any sort of alarm or chime. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm sorry. So, oh, wait a minute. So we're getting some corroboration here on season 4. Can I go into season 4 without having seen season 3? Season 4, is that the one with the Master of Puppets? The Master of Puppets thing at the end? That was the only other time I heard about Stranger Things was, it had a Metallica song in it. Yeah, Lexi, so that's the thing, right? It's not enjoyable to watch. It is very soul crushing, right? There were kids and families in the theater when you saw. Well, come on. I mean, the trailer was. I mean, it wasn't like, I guess, decapitory specific, but it gave you enough to know that this was not for kids. Excuse me. So I also, I was not like a huge fan of Black Phone, the movie. I really wanted to like it. I thought the grabber had the potential to be a iconic slasher villain. I liked the premise. I liked the short story. I loved the 70s vibe that it had. But again, it just didn't really connect with me. But I'd already bought the mask, so I wasn't gonna waste that. Michael, you know, Black Phone perfection. We gotta work on your horizons, buddy. Yeah, I also went with my mother to see Top Gun when I was 13 years old. And Top Gun has a really long 80s sex scene in it with Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis, along with Berlin's hit song, Take My Breath Away. A lot of silhouettes, a lot of sweat, like close-ups of sweat. A lot of sheets moving, a lot of me like sunk down in my seat. Like, I don't know if I had a hoodie at the time, but if I did, just been like this. Like, not looking at my mom. I probably did a lot of this. Oh my God. Like, what the hell? Now, there was a movie that was marketed as an action flick that kids would love. They didn't tell me they were going to put 30 minutes of softcore porn in the middle. Oh, there you go. And I do know Schecter's, so yes. Yeah. Good for him. I don't know, man. I don't know if I have the patience. Like, I think the grade would determine a lot. I would not. I would want to teach. I would want to teach when they were old enough to have. I would want to teach them when they're old enough to respect authority, but not yet old enough to challenge it. What grade is that? Does that grade exist? Maybe 7th grade, 6th grade? I'm not sure. But I'm sure you're fantastic, and I know Jeff will be great. Oh, hi, Deanne. So this is the first time going back. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be something. Good luck with that. Amy, you just left the teaching community. Left teaching community college. Okay, yeah. You're done with it. Yeah, this is the problem, Brian, right? Like, it's just he's doing himself all the time. And he's a charismatic guy. But just how much of it can you take, Oh, I love this. I love that. Louisiana. Use the Wingding font. Use Papyrus. Oh, Juan, that's awesome. I'm sure you'll be great at it. Yeah, I don't know how pervasive is this. Like, what is a systemic sort of solution for AI detection? Legible font on a poster not publicly funded? So not only do you have to do it, but the school needs to foot the bill? Man. Oh, Ross. Yeah. Horror comes in many different ways. I'm actually listening to Conspiracy Against the Human Race again, and every time I must have read or listened to that book a dozen times or more now, and I'm utterly convinced that Thomas Ligotti, that his elevator pitch was, what if I wrote a horror story masquerading as a philosophy text? Or what if I wrote a book that literally tried to get people to go into despair? What if I tried to write a book that could ruin a person's life by reading it? Which, pretty amazing. So trying to inoculate myself to that, Yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna go through 2 seasons of Stranger Things. Not gonna happen. Unfortunately. Whoa, what is this? Deanne Jordan, you wrote a book on it. So this is, related to the field that I'm in as well. And the work that I have done over the past several years. Would love to know the book. I've got all the Ray Kurzweil I can handle. Oh, Michael, again, like, this is like, there's so many so many factors that come into this. I'm going to tell you, like, my favorite song right now is Bach's Chaconne. Depending on the performance you can find on it. It is just like the nuance and the despair that comes through in that piece. If I do decide to commit to learning it, I will hate it before I'm done. But that's probably not what you meant by, song. I'm sure you probably meant like, let me be less overtly pretentious. The problem is, like, I tend to listen to music for the same reasons. Like, I will watch shows over and over again because I do it for comfort, not often for TV shows, right? Like, I'll watch the really good TV shows, and then the rest of what I watch is usually for comfort. Same thing with music. I kind of approach it the same way. There are a few songs, they're not new in it's not like I've just discovered them. They just went in a playlist. They've been around for a while, but they have longevity. And maybe, that maybe speaks to something about their quality. It's interesting. Like, I went through a period, right? I was a metalhead when I was younger. And then I, went through a period where I was, very indie rock, like the 90s, very into indie rock. And then sort of I had a progressive phase. But for a lot of that time, I sort of eschewed metal, because I saw it as puerile, and I don't think that anymore. I think that it's just as valid, if not more valid, than any other genre. So, favorite song, man. I listen to Close to the Edge a lot, which is a Yes song and album. I listen to Talk's New Grass a lot. I listen to a lot of, like, songs from The Big Chair, a lot of, like, the first Tears for Fears album. I listen to Depeche Mode a lot. I listen to New Order a lot. See what else is in common rotation. Wilco, Arcade Fire, not so much anymore. A lot of the 90s pre-emo bands. So, Hot Water Music, Jawbreaker, Jawbox, a lot of stuff Steve Albini produced. Stereo Lab, Trans Am. I'm just, at this point, I'm just naming bands. Most of them from the 90s. I still really like Leprous. Get into their arrangements, and just the technical brilliance they have. Love Pink Floyd. Expect very little from the upcoming Dave Gilmour solo album. Hopefully, just like I expect very little from Joe Biden in the debate stage, but I'm hoping that it's okay. It's, I've seen Dave Gilmour recently, and he's not looking great, right? We're all on borrowed time at this point. So if this is like his last album, it would be great if it were of merit, because the final Pink Floyd album, Endless River, was just, I don't think that should have been released as a Pink Floyd album. I understand, why it was done, but just, So, yeah, favorite song. Why don't I just go here? Why don't I do this? I'm going to go to my Apple Music and just look at like what the last things that were played are, and maybe pick one of those. Why don't I go to my top 25 most played? Okay, so my top 25 most played is a lot of Propaganda. Oh wait, this is by. I guess it's arranging it by. No, this can't be right. This is not right. Something is wrong here. My top 25 most played songs are not all Propaganda songs. That is wrong. Yeah, Richard Buckner is on here. Jeremy Ennick and Sunny Day Real Estate. Depeche Mode, as I said. Music for the masses. I'll listen to that all day. There's some Ryan Adams on here. Whiskey Town. But something is wrong with this. Because this just is not accurate. Let me go to just a playlist, because this is just not giving a correct picture. Yeah, I was a big fan of Belle and Sebastian when they came out. A lot of Bruce Springsteen. Chris Bell from Big Star. Codeine. Elliott Smith is all over the place here. Guided by Voices. Gustavo Santaolalla. I listened to a lot of him. I already mentioned Jawbreaker, Jeff Buckley, Paul Simon, Peter Gabriel. Love them. Red House Painters and Mark Kozelek. There's an example of like really a problematic person, but I still listen to his music. I'm gonna say, actually, there you go. I think my favorite song is Allison by Mark Kozelek. Or is that? Yeah, it's Mark Kozelek. Or is it Sun Kill Moon? I think it might be Sun Kill Moon. So it's Allison by Sun Kill Moon. That is my favorite song. And why? It is manages to take chromatic and some dissonance and turn it into something beautiful. It has movements and sections that express very, very different feelings. I love, the plaintive lyrics. I'm a really big fan of the guitar work. I love Mark Kozelek's voice. I would say Allison is probably my favorite song at the moment. But like I said, I got a million things here that could also fit the bill. This Mortal Coil, Karate, Refused. Wedding Present. Love the Wedding Present. Let's go with that. All right. Deanne Jordan, I would love to talk to you about AI work. As like I said, if you did a Venn diagram, my work involves that as well. Mia, you watched Top Gun with your parents also. Yeah, it was super, super awkward, man. It sucked, and it was the worst age for that to happen. Got you, Vic Quill. Skibbity toilet. Okay, let me scoot down to the bottom here. I'd love to know the book that you wrote, Deanne Jordan. Can I just search your name and find it? I mean, I realize, models are sophisticated enough that it's just a constant, it's Sisyphean, right? Oh yeah, House of Leaves is brilliant. What was your question, Viquil? Could you ask it again? Oh man, the outfield, love the outfield. And Wham, highly underrated. Like George Michael, the guy who wrote some of the most beautiful songs. A Different Corner, Careless Whisper, he wrote when he was 18. Like, that guy was a genius. He was a genius. It's very sad what happened to him. Yeah, Talk Talk. So I mentioned Talk Talk, I think. Really, really moved me. I don't like U2. I don't know what to do about that. Just don't. Oh, the Smiths. I'm not sure who said the Smiths, but yeah, totally forgot the Smiths. Love that Johnny Marr seems to be like playing with everybody, right? He was playing with Modest Mouse. He's currently touring with the Pretenders. He's just getting out there and seems to be like living his best life. Dan Jordan, is this the name of your... Oh, what's the name of the book? Oh man, Brian Jonestown Massacre. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of my favorites of Santolala's. Ron Rocco. It's great. Oh, this was your question? Favorite movie? Favorite movie? I mean, we talked about like movies that disturbed us. My favorite movie is probably still Paris, Texas. Why? Because it's beautiful, and it is a singular package. It is it's a story of redemption. It's a story of great betrayal. It's got a sort of laid back pacing to it, which is, to me, like fascinating. I know a lot of people are like right now talking about some new horror movie that's from the POV of the killer as being really boring. I can't wait to see it. I love movies that if they have something to say, I like slow pacing. If they don't have anything to say, then it's a waste of my time. Right? Get the fuck out of here. So Paris, Texas. Just unity of vision from Sam Shepard and Wim Wenders, Harry Dean Stanton, amazing. The cinematography is just beautiful. I could watch that movie just for the color over and over and over again. Like you watch Paris, Texas, and then you watch like No Country for Old Men, and you're like, oh yeah, Coen Brothers watched themselves some Paris, Texas before they did Miller's Crossing, and then every other movie after that. Right? Yeah, really moving. Has one of the most brilliant scenes. For those who haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a scene through a window, and it's not like Joker's Fall Ado. It's not, seeing some lipstick line up with somebody's smile. is a brilliant scene between the main character played by Harry Dean Stanton and the mother of his child, who was played by Nastasia Kinski. And it's one I've wanted to do like a recreation of, an ASMR recreation of, or a sort of a take on, kind of like with Buffalo 66. But I'm afraid to like even go near it. It's just so perfect. Yeah, that's why. And Wild Strawberries is up there too. You ghostwrite for a business audience. The research you do is more extensive and went another direction through my own new book, to a mythology, transhumanism, absolute AI. Okay, yeah, I will check it out. Yeah, I mean, I love the Beach Boys, obviously the Beatles, Strokes. Yeah, I love Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Brad's Pitt. How are you doing? Yeah, there was a tweet that I couldn't help but signal boost. Let's see. That was clever. It's a bit of fun, and if something comes out of it, all the better. Sure, I can find it. Sure, yeah, X is easy to navigate. No, I don't want to go to Grok. Yeah, so it was somebody just posted, there's got to be at least one white guy willing to throw his life away to commit the act that will save this country from the impending fascist takeover. Make the fucking news, white boy. Yeah. Oh, Lexi, yeah, X and Pearl are great. I'm not sure. I might prefer Pearl to X. Maybe. It's a tough call. And I'll tell you what, like I feel like I don't really put horror movies in the same, like, if you ever ask me like what kind of movie I want to watch, it's always going to be, I will always say yes to horror, to psychological thriller. Like that's the kind of escapism that does it for me, you know. Comedy sometimes, but usually let's get some horror going. I'm curious about Maxine as well. Yeah. Well, I don't know why I put like songwriting here. I originally thought I was going to go into going over some of the things that I've been writing to try and get just like a group of songs together. Because I've been working on a bunch of these things separately for a long time, and I just want to kind of like weed out the stuff that isn't cohesive or sort of doesn't belong with the other stuff, and then, well, yeah, no, Michael, I've both read and seen American Psycho. I'm not as big a Bret Easton Ellis fan as a lot of people are. But so I was working on trying to get that group get that material whipped into shape to some extent. but obviously, like, we don't have the time now, right? But maybe next time. Maybe next time. If I don't see you all, I hope you all have a lovely 4th of July. If you're in the U.S. and safe. And other than that, I will talk to you all and see you later. Have a good night.